and inspire us to take bold action to build a world where people live with justice and dignity, free from abuse. Their call for help to change their very existence is evidence of hope. Your commitment, which is nothing short of miraculous, helps to condemn violence and abuse and enables our survivors to move forward and change and sometimes transform their lives, one person at a time. Tonight, you will hear a story about what happens when someone responds, listens, and believes when one victim of abuse speaks. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce our incredible speaker, Hannah Gross. Hannah is the proud daughter of Nicole. Nicole is one of our board directors and former board president. Without saying too much, this story is about love, respect, courage, and a lot of strength. At this time, will you please give Hannah a welcome she will never forget? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Hannah, and I am a child survivor of domestic violence. My mother is undoubtedly the most incredible woman I know. She is my role model. Now I know that sounds cliche, but she's not just my role model on Mother's Day when every girl's mother is her role model. She's my role model the other 364 days as well. It was my mother who taught me how personal resilience and willingness to accept help can change and save lives. In this case, our 2 lives. My father was very tough to be around. He was bipolar, abusive, with a constant craving for alcohol. You know, the combination that every child and spouse dream of. Over the course of my parents' marriage, my heart hurt every day as I watched my father slowly mold my mother into the woman that he wanted. With every word he spoke over her, she grew more silent. With every hand he laid on her, she grew smaller. He slowly broke off pieces of her once strong personality until she was this distant, empty woman. She was no longer the vibrant, incredible woman who gave birth to me. She was a lesser version of herself. She was a victim. On Easter Sunday of 2000, my father pulled a gun on my mother and me. And after years of saying, today is the day, today had finally come. My mother had made the decision for the both of us to leave this life. The police were called, the retreat was called, and we left. With our world turned upside down, the retreat became our haven. It was the first place my mother and I had felt safe in years. In the beginning, the retreat provided us shelter, a listening ear, counseling, and legal support. In the middle, they helped us envision a new life and helped us to take concrete steps to bring that dream into reality. And in the end, they gave me something that I will never be able to repay them for: my mother. It was like they had taken all the incredible qualities that had been broken off of her over the years and glued them back together, and all of a sudden I had my old mom back. And 20 years later, she is my best friend. We watch Friends reruns and blast Dave Matthews Band in the car and talk about boys and cry about boys, and to be honest, I would not trade her for anyone. Now, I asked to speak here tonight instead of my mother, Nicole, because I felt it was time for the children of abused parents to be heard. We are the small and silent, so desperate for a voice. When I think about the years I spent without a father, I do not feel deserted. I feel tough. When I think about the time that my mother and I spent at the retreat, I do not feel embarrassed. I feel grateful. And when I think about the abuse that my mother and I endured for years, I do not feel like a victim. I feel like a survivor. My mother always told me that I could have gone one of two ways. I could have let the abuse I faced cripple me, excuse bad behaviors, or even ruin my life. Or I could have taken all of the hurt and anger that I gathered over the years and let it propel me forward. Judging from the fact that I'm speaking in front of all of you right now, I'm sure you can guess which path I took. Here I stand, at 20 years old, having graduated vice president of my high school class, having just passed the halfway point in getting my psychology degree at Northeastern University, having grown to understand what a healthy and respectable relationship can look like, and standing here in this moment in front of all of you about what a difference it can make to ask for and receive help. My voice represents that of the children across Long Island, across the country, and across the world currently witnessing and enduring family violence. Hear my voice. Every child has the right to be free from abuse. I was lucky because I had the retreat. I made it. I got out. Thank you so very much for listening to me, and thank you